welcome to It Happened in Grand Prairie as we bring you a special. This is History Tape number 426, and we're spotlighting a very special school, a very special class in the Grand Prairie Independent School District. And we have the honcho of all of the social studies in Grand Prairie, Texas that has been stem-winding this for us. And she's also been the president-elect of the Grand Prairie Historical Organization, a very important lady in Grand Prairie, Texas, has to do with teaching teachers how to teach, and we're so pleased to have Judy Wilkinson. Judy, welcome to the set, my dear.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
And
we're very pleased to be here.
Wonderful. And we also know that you have with you some special guests, and we're going to meet each and every one of those individually, but I want to get Gina Collier, who is your cohort on your immediate left, as a very special lady that is the Texas history class instructor and is the department chair at Lee Middle School in social studies and does just real great things for us at the Lee Middle School. And Mr. Mojica couldn't be here, so you're it, Miss Judy. So Miss Judy, would you start out and tell us a little bit about a very special project under your wing and under your direction?
Well, actually it began with you. It began with you because you sent us a tape about making history quilts. And we sent it out to all the campuses, but it was Lee Middle School and Miss Collier who decided to take it and run.
Oh, great.
And they did a wonderful job, so we wanted to share it with you. They've made a quilt, and Miss Collier will tell you about their process and how they did it. But they made a quilt showing significant events in Texas history, and we would like to share it with you. And we want to go to Gina now to tell about it.
I want to give you a few kudos also, because every fall of the year, when it gets almost time for schools to start, you invite the historical organization to come in and bring a special program on history. Would you like to tell us a little about that?
Yes, ma'am, I would, and it's something that's very popular with our teachers. A part of our texts, which are the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, require that our students learn about our community and the history of our community. Therefore, many of our teachers are from other parts of the country, not just the state. And so we want to make available to them and have them have some knowledge of Grand Prairie so they can impart it to our students. Because I believe that in order for our students to be proud of being citizens of Grand Prairie, they need to know about their community. So we offer this, and we ask the historical organization to come and share this information with us, and they do a beautiful job. Mr. Powers and Miss Jackson take us on a bus tour, and we go to significant sites in Grand Prairie and to see what there is there for our children to know about it, to see. Which reminds me, some of those sites was another project of Miss Collier's last year. Good. Where they went to the various sites and made a website that showed significant homes in Grand Prairie, historical homes, from the tours that we've made. I was very pleased with that project as well.
Well, you're a stem winder, and we want to thank you, and thank you for all the things you do for history and for Grand Prairie, and for especially the Grand Prairie ISD.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Gina Collier, we're just so pleased to have you with us, and tell us a little bit about being a history teacher and all of the good stuff at Lee Middle School, and how long have you been there?
I've been at Lee for 5 years.
Yes.
Before that, I was at Jefferson.
All right.
But I love 7th grade. I like teaching 7th graders, and I love to teach Texas history.
Yes. Even though she's from Arkansas.
Yeah. But Texas has a better history than Arkansas.
You got here as soon as you could.
As soon as I could, right. I got here in time to have my son, who's a native Texan. Does that count? Okay.
Oh, yes, and give us his name.
Jason.
Jason, okay.
Yeah. We got a video from Miss Wilkinson that you had sent her, and I took it home and looked at it, and I thought, well, this looks like a great project, and how am I going to do it? Because I'd never done anything like the quilt before. So what I did was I had every student draw a picture of something that was important to them about Texas history. And so we have 152 students, so we had 152 pictures, and they were all good.
Oh, yes.
But we couldn't put them all on the quilt. So I asked some of my teacher friends to come in and to look through the pictures and to pick the ones that they thought best represented Texas history. And I also asked them, please don't pick 5 Alamos, all right? You know, we need different things. So some of the teachers came in, and then they picked the ones they thought were the best. Then those students had to actually go back, Miss Jackson, and redraw them, because their first effort had been on paper.
Yes.
And their second effort, obviously, is on cloth.
On cloth. How wonderful.
So they went back and redraw them. And people ask me, they go, did they trace? And I go, no, they didn't trace, because what we did was we cut the blocks of cloth out and taped them to hard cardboard so that the cloth didn't move, and then they could draw on the hard background.
That is wonderful.
So the pictures you see were not traced. We just have some fantastic artists at Lee Middle School.
Yes, and did this come out better than you anticipated?
Yes, ma'am. It really did. The kids did a better job than I thought they would. And then we were very lucky in that our school, when I was talking to one of my teachers and I said, how am I going to put this together?
Yes.
Miss Ann Augenbaugh, who's been at Lee for years, like myself, said, I will put it together for you. And she took it home, and on spring break, she put all of this together for us.
Isn't that wonderful?
Fantastic. And
we should
just
have had
owe
her on the show too, right?
Because without her putting it together, it would have still been pretty, but when you see it hanging, you'll notice that all the detail work she did really made it look much better.
That's wonderful. Now may we meet your student?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Right next to me is Denora Gomez.
All right, Denora, you just tell us your name and give us your parents and tell us the school you attend and something real nice about yourself.
Okay, I'm Denora Gomez. My mom's name is Lucelva Gomez, and my dad's Juan Gomez. I go to Lee Middle School, and I'm in the 7th grade.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, one brother and one sister.
Would you name them?
My brother, Julio Gomez, and my sister, Marlene.
That's wonderful. And how do you like going to Lee?
It's fine.
What did you think about a project like this? Had you ever done a quilt project before?
No.
Was this a new learning experience?
Yes.
Okay, very wonderful. And Miss Tina, you're next. Tell us about you and maybe your family a little bit.
My name is Tina Tant. My mom's name is Jean McDonald, and I go to Lee Middle School, and I'm in 7th grade.
All right, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have 2 little brothers and
Would you
2
like to
little
name them?
sisters. Clint and Marshall Brownlee.
Okay.
And then I have Ashley and Charity Tant.
Oh, that's wonderful. And are you a pretty good role model for those other members of your
try.
family? You bet you do. All right, how did you like working on the quilt project?
It was a good experience.
All right, how did that take away from your study of your academics? Did you bide your time pretty carefully?
Not very much.
Not
It was timely, but not as timely as it seemed.
It seems. Okay. And you're glad you had that experience?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you recommend it to your best friend?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's go next to Miss Cisneros. You're next. Okay, Claudine.
Yes, I'm Claudia Cisneros. My mom's name is Martha Cisneros. I go to Lee Middle School, and I'm in 7th grade.
All right. And was this an exciting adventure for you with this quilt?
Yes, I think it was very exciting and very fun.
When you thought about what you were going to choose maybe as your subject, how many things went through your mind that you said, well, I've got to do this or this or this or this? How did you make your choice?
Well, at first it seemed like I wanted to do everything.
Yes.
But I think I drew the Alamo, and I think it was the most exciting to me.
That was the best choice you could make, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's begin with your microphone, and I believe that already has his. Introduce yourself, would you please?
I'm Dan Nugent, and I go to Lee Middle School. I am in 7th grade.
All right, and did you name your parents?
My mom's name is Feng Wing. My dad's name is Feng Wing.
All right, do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 3 brothers, and the oldest one are 15, 7, and 2 years old.
All right, would you name them?
Young, Trey, and Ben.
All right, are you a pretty good role model for some of these, or are they role models for you?
My brother is role model for me, and I'm role model for my little brother.
Mm-hmm. How about taking any time away from your busy schedule of studying all of the academics? Did you balance this off pretty well, pretty easily?
No, it took time.
It took time?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Was it more time than you anticipated?
Yes.
Was it a lot of fun, though?
Yes. It was
Are
a
you
lot.
glad that your square was chosen and you got to be one of the famous 20 or 22 blocks that are in this quilt?
I was surprised.
Were you surprised?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. What did your parents think about it when you finally came up with the fact that you were one of the selected ones?
Oh,
You didn't get a prize or anything, did you?
no.
No, no prizes, no prizes. Okay, would you hand the microphone on then to Jose and let him introduce himself, please?
My name is Jose Tintori, and my parents' names are Richard and Alma Huerta. I go to Lee Middle School, and I'm in 7th grade.
Okay, did you introduce your parents?
Uh-huh.
You've already introduced your parents. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I got one brother and one sister.
Or would you name them?
My brother's name's Giovanni Tintori, and my sister's name's Priscilla Huerta.
All right, where do they go to school?
One goes to GP and one goes to Bowie.
All right, now the one that goes to GP, oh, is he a good role model for you?
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Yes, pretty good, huh? Well, what did he think about his younger brother being so famous that he has one of the quilt blocks that's in the special Texas quilt that you've done at Lee Middle School? Was he impressed?
I don't know. He never told me.
You're not ready to take all that credit yet until we get this thing hung in the right places and maybe get some wonderful, wonderful prizes. If we enter this into some other avenue other than here on television, just think, you may become famous as part of the quilt makers of Lee Middle School about the state of Texas. Is that important to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. Let's go to CJ. CJ, we know that you're the final student on this, but last but not least, tell us a little bit about CJ.
My name is CJ Allen. I go to Lee Middle School and I'm in 7th grade.
Okay.
And my mom's name is Ruby Allen. My dad's name is Clarence Allen.
Okay, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have one brother and one sister.
Name them.
Nicole Allen and Byron Allen.
Do they go to school?
Yes.
Where?
One goes to Jefferson and the other one goes to Bowie.
All right, Jefferson and Bowie. That is a good combination. That is wonderful. How exciting was it for you to compete in this? Would you please tell us, CJ?
It was very exciting.
It was? Mm-hmm. When the teacher got up before the class and said, look, we have a special project, what did the boys think about making quilts and drawing squares?
Well, we really didn't know that it was going to be on a quilt. We just thought it was just a project.
You thought it was just another project. Mm-hmm. And here you've become famous.
Yes.
What do your parents think about this, you're being a selected one?
They were surprised.
How about you? Were you surprised?
Yes, I didn't think I would get chosen.
You didn't think you would get chosen?
No.
And we're going to look at your square in a little bit, but what was your subject?
It was an Indian. I drew an Indian.
An Indian?
Mm-hmm.
What brought that to your mind? Why that choice?
I just wanted to do something that nobody else would think of doing.
That was good. That is great. Okay. All right. Why don't we take the quilt now and let's begin over here with Denora, and let's see if we can hold that up and find your square.
See the whole thing first, girls.
Oh, let's see. Y'all stand up and watch your microphones, and let's see the whole quilt. Oh, can y'all put that in front of the boys? Boys, can y'all pull the quilt out there and see if we can get a picture of the whole quilt? That's going to cover you up for a minute, but we'll let you out of it. All right. Isn't that beautiful? And Ms. Collier, this is all about the state of Texas?
Just the state of Texas, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what brought this to mind to you to give that assignment?
Well, because I'm Texas history teacher, so I wanted, and I knew my students would know a lot about Texas. So it reinforced the things they had learned.
All right, and was this a teaching program for you as well as?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. And I probably will do one every year now. You know,
you think that got you started on the right track?
Yeah. Well, you know, the first one's always the hardest, and then after that you know what you've done wrong and what you need to do to correct it. So.
All right, let's bring the quilt back now and see if we can find Denora's quilt block and let her talk a little bit about why she picked it. Okay. See if we can get a shot of that right underneath your chin there. Put it right over there underneath your chin, Denora. So that is yours. Oh, that's great. Can we get a shot of that? And tell us what that is.
It's the Texas Ranger badge.
Texas Ranger badge. Why did you pick that?
Because I didn't think people would do it, and it was kind of easy to draw.
Kind of easy to draw. That was a real good reasoning. Well, congratulations for being the one that's, and let's pass that on down to Miss Tina, would you? And Tina, I know you can find yours pretty easily. Okay. And tell us what this is. Is that
I drew a $50 bill from the Texas as a country, not
Texas
as
as a republic?
Yes.
Oh, that is great. What gave you this idea?
Money makes the world go round.
Money makes the world go around. That is really great. And is there a signature on that bill?
Yes, I think that it was.
I bet there is a signature of someone on that bill.
It's somewhere, but they were. It was really, really hard to read because they were in cursive and very fine cursive.
Did you embroider this, or did you just draw it?
I just drew it.
Just drew it on. Okay. All right. Let's come on down to Claudia. Miss Claudia, do you have a? You said you did the Alamo. We've got to see your version of the Alamo. What, drawing the Alamo, what did that mean to you to get to draw that?
Well, I think the Alamo is very interesting.
Yes.
And I just...
It's a very famous building in Texas, isn't it?
Yes, I basically drew it because of that. I think it's very interesting to draw.
Very historical.
Mm-hmm.
Did your parents, pardon me, did your parents know what your subject was in your quilt? Do they know now?
Yes, now they do.
Now they do. How about their reaction to your choice? Did they think that was wonderful?
Yeah, they were surprised, but they were also excited.
They were also excited. How long did it take you to draw that? Because look at all of the fine details that you have there, and you have a tree in front, and all of the grill work and the stone work that's in the front of that. Was that pretty hard to do?
Yeah, it took me about 5 hours.
Took you about 5 hours. That is wonderful. That is just really super. Okay, do y'all think y'all can get the quilt up to the boys? And I'll begin with Dat and let him find his. We're going to get that quilt dirty, and then Ms. Wilkinson's going to be real after us, and Gina's going to even be more upset. We'll try to take real good care of this. And what is yours now, Dad?
Mine's a horse.
Yours is a horse, yes. And why did you choose a horse?
Because in the early 1800s, most Texans used horse as transportation.
Okay, that was a good reason, yes. Have you ever had a horse of your own?
No.
Do you hope to have one of these days, maybe?
No.
He doesn't even, he likes to draw horses, but he didn't want to get involved with the horses. You know, we have horses here in Grand Prairie at the racetrack, and so I know that you get to see horses on television and all of this, but how long did it take you to draw your square?
It took me about 8 hours.
About 8 hours.
The students told me, Ms. Jackson, that drawing on the cloth was much harder than drawing it on paper.
Was it harder than you thought it would be to draw it on cloth instead of the paper?
Yes.
Oh, it was. Did you have to start over or do any erasing or anything, or do you have to be ready to go when you put it on that cloth?
No, I gotta erase a lot, and I use pens, so it's hard. I gotta change some of my drawing on the other sheets here.
So you had your master sheet to one side and you looked at it, and then you could tell how you wanted to change it. Did you improve it any when you made some changes in it?
I don't think so.
No, you don't. Okay, all right. Let's go then to Mr. Jose and find his, and help him find his, and let's put the spotlight on that part of the quilt.
I drew 4 famous Texans. Bowie, Travis, Austin, and...
Some of the heroes. You did the heroes, didn't you? Oh, that is wonderful. And he has the flag and the Alamo kind of in the background, but I believe he featured the heroes of Texas. Isn't that wonderful? And he even put his name at the bottom of it in red. Isn't that great? How long did it take you to draw this, Jose?
A couple of hours.
Is that all? Did your parents know how gifted you are with the pen and getting all of this together?
I hope.
When this is hung at Lee Middle School, do you think you can get all of the parents together to come up and take a look at this? And are you going to be really proud and just put your shoulders back real big and said, I was one of the famous blocks on the first quilt that was made by Lee Middle School about Texas history?
Yeah.
You going to brag a little?
A little.
Are you going to brag to your brother that goes to Grand Prairie High School?
A little.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to CJ. CJ, would you help us find yours? And Jose, you could help him with his microphone if you wanted to, while he finds. Somebody did the state seal. I think that is just. That is just.
I thought maybe we might, after everyone's shown theirs, is recognize the
others.
blocks and name those children.
Let's do that, and I'm going to depend on you two to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
If y'all will take the quilt back and facilitate.
I'll show and she can tell.
Okay, show and tell. We'll do it. All right, we're ready for you now, CJ.
Yeah, I drew an Indian.
Oh, you
with
drew
his,
the Indian. Oh, that
with
is
his back
good.
showing, and he has a whole bunch of different things on his back.
Yes. And they were very important to the history of Texas, weren't they?
Yes.
Yes. That is very, very well done. Do you think your parents are going to be proud of you for that?
Yes.
Yes. And do you think you might get a good grade in social studies this time because you made one of the blocks that got put in the quilt, and maybe you might get a little better grade than usual?
Yes.
You hope so, don't you? Are you about ready for school to be out so that you can run and play and think about Texas history next year?
Yes.
Would you like to say anything to the boys and girls that might get an opportunity to do this again?
Good luck.
Good, good luck. Okay, let's have the quilt, and back to Miss Judy and Miss Gina.
If we start
All right.
Okay, start at the
well,
top.
you know, let me hold it and you do the talking, because you know the children.
All right, girls, y'all can stand up and help her.
And help.
We'll just fold it up. We wanted to bring everyone, but there's not room on the stage. So the first block was done by Ricardo Daines, and he did Stephen Austin. I think he did a great job on that.
Yes, he did. I think that's a very
The
good
second
likeness.
block was done by Marco Cardenas, and he did the flag Come and Take It. If you're familiar with Texas history, you'll know what that is.
Yes.
And then we have, of course, Claudia's Alamo and Jose's Four Famous Texans. And then here was Denora's Texas Ranger. Next to that we have Aurelio Acevedos.
Let's wait till we get to the Texas Ranger. There it is, okay. Texas Ranger. Then back to
this one?
Yes.
This is Aurelio Acevedos, and he did the blue bonnets, the state flag of Texas. And then next to that we have Yesenia Alvarez, and she has a warrior on a horse.
Okay.
And then we have the state bird, the mockingbird, and that was done by Sergio Garcia.
Okay, the next line.
The next line, guys.
We have the money.
We have Tina Taint's Money Makes the World Go Round, okay? This was done by Lakeisha Taylor, and I'm not sure how much it'll show up, but it's workers in Texas. We have people in the back picking cotton, and then in the front we have a miner for coal for East Texas.
Oh, that's great.
Then we have the Longhorn, and that's Amanda Wagner. Of course, the Longhorn is very important in Texas history. And then next to that we have the Space Center.
Oh, great.
NASA, LBJ Space Center, and that was done by Wesley Stubbs.
Okay.
So we have a lot of different Texas things on here.
There's your oil well.
Yeah, we couldn't have Texas without an oil well, and that's Roger Rios.
Okay.
The state seal of Texas was done by Maria Gonzalez. I think she did a great job on that. Isn't that
so
not?
excellent.
Looks like it's just stamped on there.
Yes, it does.
This one I think probably took the longest to do. This is Cecilia Garcia, and it's the capital of Texas.
Yes, and with either the moon or the sun in the background.
And there's
Great.
just lots of detail on there. I don't know how much you can tell, but.
Yes.
And of course the state flag, Maria Rendon.
Yes.
And she put even the mockingbird, gave it a little extra touch there. Then we have CJ's Indian. This was actually done by two students, Isai Benitez and Julio Martinez, and they did a buffalo with a buffalo gun, a rifle.
Oh, that is wonderful.
And then here's Dat's horse. And the last one says, made by students in Gina Collier's Texas history class at Lee Middle School in the year 2001, with special thanks to Ann Augenbaugh for her quilting expertise.
Isn't that wonderful? I think we all ought to clap, shouldn't we? Yay! That is just great. And you mentioned, Miss Judy, that this has been a real special project. Is this the first one that anyone in the Grand Prairie ISD has ever done for you?
So for me,
Yes.
I know that, I remember that in the elementary grades they did a paper quilt
Yes.
of literature, but nothing ever on cloth before.
Cloth before.
What that we could, that had to do with history. This first time I had had anybody attempt to do a history quilt.
All
and
right.
it really pleases me. I know we have the lovely one that the historical organization has about the history of Grand Prairie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I was pleased with the things the children chose to draw, and I think it reveals that they not only have a lot of artistic talent, but they know a lot about Texas history.
Yes, they do, and they learned more. They had a hands-on experience here that
Yes,
I think
and I
is
don't think they'll
invaluable.
forget doing it
Yes.
either.
And Ms. Collier, for next year, I think we have about a minute. We have 2 minutes left on our show to wind up, and I want you to thank everyone that you would like to, and especially these students that were picked to be here today, and their parents for letting them come today.
Oh, right. I want to especially thank these 6 students. They gave up going to the KISS FM concert, and that's a big thing for teenagers to give up
Yes.
in order to be here. And to thank their parents because they allowed them to come, and they have to come and pick them up late after school, so that's an extra trip for them. I also like to thank Ms. Wilkinson because she's so supportive in our Texas history and our history department here. I don't know that I would have even attempted it without her. Mr. Mojica, who agreed to pay for anything that we needed to spend to do the quilt.
How wonderful.
And to you for giving us the idea.
It's
Okay? And
wonderful.
we look forward to doing one next year. And I think we're going to, each year we're going to do it differently. We're going to do like subject areas. I was thinking next year might be geographical.
That was
and
wonderful.
we'll start making it a little narrower.
Yes, that's wonderful. Boys and girls, I want to thank you all for answering the call today and coming to be with us on It Happened in Grand Prairie, as we made a historical documentary of this. And we're going to provide at least 1 or 2 of these copies so that you all can have one in your library, and you can get that out and take a look at yourselves on this. And if you want to watch it on our show, we're always on Channel 99. We show at 6 o'clock for history on Wednesdays and Fridays. It may not be for about 3 or 4 weeks before this will show, but we want you to know that you all will be there because Mr. Louis Tovar, who is the head production person here at AT&T, will be responsible for seeing that that happens. And we really are proud of each and every one of you all for this greatness. And Gilbert, we want to thank you for staying so long and coming back and doing all this good stuff for us. Gilbert is a student at South Grand Prairie High Media class, and he stayed a long time to be with us. Yes, he did. He says, wrap it up. Thank you all. And
Thank you.
This is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we all live and do in Grand Prairie, Texas.